following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to you with what will hopefully be a successful review, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Transformers figure that rivals the likes of Legacy Deluxe Class Cosmos in being one of the hardest to find Transformers figures of the Legacy line, and it is another figure that was released in the Velocitron Speedia 500 subline that was the series of Walmart exclusive Legacy figures for the Legacy Year 1 line. And so, without further delay, I am proud to present what for many people has been the hardest to find Transformers Legacy, at least in the size class that it is, which is leader class figure to find. Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Galaxy Shuttle. So yeah, here he is in all his splendor and glory. We got some nice artwork of Galaxy Shuttle in his robot mode, which wraps around the side of the box. On the other side of the box, you've got a close-up image of that same image of him in his robot mode. You've got him in the space shuttle mode, standing on the launch pad. And on the top of the box, you've got a photograph of his space shuttle alt mode. And then right on the top of the box also is a picture of his new mode of a locomotive train engine. So for some background history on who exactly is Galaxy Shuttle, for those of you unaware, Galaxy Shuttle was the Autobot character who ended up serving as second in command to Star Saber in the Transformers Generation 1 Japanese exclusive season titled Transformers Victory. And Galaxy Shuttle is the only character from Transformers Victory that actually states that he's from the Victory universe or Victory series/season of Generation 1 on his box, which is very surprising because as technically it didn't say, even though it was a HasLab release, it didn't say that Star Saber was from the Victory universe, but for the other Japanese exclusive characters that have been released in the Legacy line, such as Legacy Evolution Minerva, it didn't say that she was from the Super God Master Force series, just the G1 series. So, how and why Hasbro and Cartoni decided to single out Galaxy Shuttle and being from Transformers Victory, I honestly cannot say. So yeah, that's who Galaxy Shuttle is. Now, the reason why, for the photographs of his alt mode, the space shuttle is on the top flap of the box, but the locomotive is there on the top of the box. So if you were to look at the box in the front, you wouldn't see the train alt mode. The reason why that is because in the original Generation 1 series, Galaxy Shuttle was not a triple changer. He only transformed from a robot into a space shuttle, and so kind of acknowledge the fact that that Galaxy Shuttle is originally a non-triple changing Transformers character that now is a triple changer. Hasbro and Takatomi just kind of sort of hid his new train vehicle mode from view. And the reason for this is because this new Legacy figure of Galaxy Shuttle, which is only the second action figure of Galaxy Shuttle that's ever been released, the first being the original G1 figure that was released back in 1988, is due to the fact that the figure is a repaint with a new head sculpt of the Transformers Leader Class Astrotrain figure that was originally released in the War for Cybertron Siege line back in 2019. So one thing I like that Hasbro and Cartomi did is that the Galaxy Shuttle's new vehicle mode of a locomotive steam engine, it's now black, which is what the color most steam locomotives were made from. So with his mostly white space shuttle and mostly black locomotive, Galaxy Shuttle does what Astrotrain does not, and actually has the paint jobs of the real-life paint jobs of the vehicle modes that he possesses. So here in the back of the box, we got product photos of Galaxy Shuttle and both of his vehicle modes. Having to flip the box around just to see. So Galaxy Shuttle transforms from robot mode to either of his vehicle modes in just 19 steps, and then he transforms back and forth between a space shuttle mode and locomotive steam engine mode in just 16 steps. So that's pretty cool there. He's got some pretty nice paint apps. The blue stripes with the yellow V on his space shuttle mode, that is reminiscent of what the original Generation 1 Galaxy Shuttle action figure possessed. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Up here showing the launch pad for the space shuttle mode. It's now mostly blue, so unfortunately Galaxy Shuttle, when he's transformed into locomotive train engine mode, the tender is blue while the locomotive itself is black, and in most steam locomotives had tenders that were painted the exact same. same color as them, but that's just me nitpicking the figure because I was into trains before I was into Transformers. So Transformers, and but of course, there's also the fact that, as I already said, Galaxy Shuttle originally was not a triple changer, so the locomotive is brand new for this character. But I will acknowledge that I do enjoy the artwork of his face. For me, I've always believed, after I found out who Galaxy Shuttle is, that his head sculpt looks a lot like Jazz, as he just has pointier ears. But yeah, it's almost the same head sculpt. It's almost like he could be Jazz's taller, younger brother. And unfortunately, there are people out there with younger siblings that are taller than they are. I'm an only child, so I don't know what it's like to have siblings, but hopefully you get the point. And yeah, he's in the exact same type of packaging as all the other Velocitron Speedia 500 figures. And technically, he wasn't the last Velocitron figure that I added to my Transformers collection. That title actually went to Shadow Strip, which is basically the deluxe class G2 version of Legacy Drag Strip. Yep, but Galaxy Shuttle is the last one that I reviewed, and there are basically a grand total of 14 Transformers figures that were released in the Velocitron Speedia 500 line. There were 11 figures released in Wave 1. I know, wait, no, is my math off? Yeah, my math is off. I'm sorry. There's a grand total of 11 figures that were released in the Velocitron Speedia 500 line. There were in Wave 1. You got 8 figures. There were 5 deluxes, 2 Voyagers, and 1 leader class figure. And then in Wave 2 of the Velocitron Speedia 500 line, there were 2 deluxes and 1 leader class figure, being Galaxy Shuttle. Now, the reason why Galaxy Shuttle is such a hard to find figure is because even though he was officially supposed to be a Walmart exclusive here in the United States, as far as I'm aware of, Galaxy Shuttle never actually showed up on the shelves of any Walmart stores. He was released in December of 2022 on Hasbro Pulse, but after the initial stock of him, Hasbro never restocked Galaxy Shuttle, and he disappeared from there. And so, the most common place that Galaxy Shuttle has been found on here in the United States is on eBay, and that's where I got my copy of Galaxy Shuttle. The average price Galaxy Shuttle is going for currently on eBay is $150 plus, and considering the fact that leader class figures still retail for $55 right now in the U.S., yes, he's going for almost triple retail price tag. I was lucky when I got my copy of Galaxy Shuttle; he was going for just $100, so I only paid double retail price. But still, unfortunately, the only way you can add Legacy Galaxy Shuttle to your Transformers collection is going on eBay and paying scalper prices for him. For some Transformers fans and collectors, the War for Cybertron trilogy Astrotrain mold is not their favorite version, not their favorite leader class Transformers figure. Some people dislike the space shuttle mode. Some people like the steam locomotive mode. Some people think the robot mode isn't as tall as a leader class Transformers figure should be. So, in that regard, Galaxy Shuttle kind of has two things working against him: the fact that he's an obscure Transformers character from the Transformers Generation One Victory series, and the fact that being a repaint and a retool of Astrotrain, it's a Transformers mold that, like most triple changers, either one or two of the modes isn't a favorite amongst Transformers fans and collectors, and so Galaxy Shuttle is basically a Transformers figure where you either completely love him or you completely hate him, with not much middle ground. And so for some Transformers fans and collectors, the general attitude I've seen is that Galaxy Shuttle isn't as sought after as Deluxe Class Cosmos has been, and for collectors, again, because of his obscurity, being his only cartoon appearance being a Transformers Victory. But for me personally, I'm happy that I was able to get a hold of this figure. Even though in real life, I forgot the actual name of NASA, NASA, the Neuroastronomical Space Administration. I forgot the NASA's actual name, but the space shuttle is a vehicle that no longer actually goes into outer space anymore. In 2011, NASA finally grounded all of the space shuttles and ended the space shuttle program after, I believe, 35 years of the space shuttle's existence. The space shuttle is special because it's the first ever space vehicle that was designed to be used more than once, and after traveling in outer space, it could make a successful return trip to planet Earth, and then after some maintenance was done, it could then be sent back into outer space again. And there were a total of 5 space shuttles built by NASA. There was the Columbia and the Challenger, which don't exist. The Challenger space shuttle unfortunately exploded after launching, and the Columbia space shuttle exploded upon re-entry. But the 3 remaining NASA space shuttles that were built, the Discovery, the Atlantis, and the Endeavour, they've been put on permanent display inside museums. And for me personally, even though it isn't actually flying in space anymore, and NASA grounded the space shuttle, the space shuttle will always be one of my all-time favorite vehicles. I've always enjoyed the space shuttle. I don't know how many space shuttles I collected before I started collecting Transformers figures. So when I found out about the existence of Galaxy Shuttle and that he was getting a figure repainted from Astrotrain, for me personally, I actually enjoy the Siege Astrotrain Ain action figure. It's one of my favorite triple changers, but it's also my favorite action figure of Astrotrain Ain that exists, and is so. For me personally, even though I said a moment ago, Galaxy Shuttle being an obscure character and and most Transformers fans and collectors not really enjoying the leader class Astrotrain Ain figure, even though that's working against it, those are actually the reasons I actually wanted to get this figure. So I'm going to stop babbling at this point, since this was just the introduction part of the video and it's already approaching 12 minutes. So without further delay, for those of you who have subscribed to my channel for a long time, you know I babble on about Transformers characters that I actually enjoy. Alright, so without further delay, let's get Galaxy Shuttle finally out of his box and take a close look at him in the mode that he's packaged in. And spoiler alert, if you do end up buying Galaxy Shuttle at all, when you take him out of the box for the first time, he's come packaged transformed into Space Shuttle mode, which is why I have Astrotrain transformed into that for a size comparison. So let's get Galaxy Shuttle out of his box and take a close look at him in Space Shuttle mode. Alright, and so here is Galaxy Shuttle out of his box, and oh man, I cannot get over how accurate his paint job is to the original Galaxy Shuttle action figure. They got the blue stripes here on the back tail fin, and they got the yellow V for Transformers Victory with the blue stripes here on the fuselage. You got a huge Autobot logo here on the top, and then smaller Autobot logos on the wings. And yeah, it's just I cannot get over how accurate the paint job is on this figure compared to the original Galaxy Shuttle. Again, he is a straight-up repaint of Astrotrain, with the only newly sculpted part being his robot mode head. And so the Space Shuttle mode and the new train mode that Galaxy Shuttle has. If you have Astrotrain, then the only difference between this figure and Astrotrain is the paint job. But if you don't have Astrotrain, then it might be a more impressive looking figure, depending on if you enjoy space shuttles and locomotive train engines having paint jobs that are either uh, made up for the Transformers cartoon series, or if they reflect the real life paint jobs of those vehicle modes. And again, here's the weapon storage pack, which serves as the fuel tender for the locomotive mode. You can open it up and it becomes a launch pad for the space shuttle mode. So here's the launch pad, and you also got the same weapon storage for Galaxy Shuttle's weapons that you do with Astrotrain. They're all cast in red plastic. The main difference is that this blaster here, it's also made out of red plastic, but it's been painted black. Why they didn't just do that one black, heck, I honestly don't know. Galaxy Shuttle only had one black blaster on his original figure, and Galaxy Shuttle's blaster, it actually incorporated into his vehicle mode. His blaster was the tail fin of the Space Shuttle alt mode. So yeah, you can just have him standing right there. And there it is, just like on the box art and the product photos. So there's Galaxy Shuttle blasting off into space. So yeah, really nice. Nice that the fuel tender for the train mode doubles as a weapons bay and launch pad for the Space Shuttle alt mode. And of course, one thing you can do, just like Astrotrain, is you can actually put this on the back of the space shuttle mode, and it looks like an engine protector that NASA would put on the exhaust engines for the space shuttle when it would be transported either by jet and having to be transported from one site to another before launching. So adjusting my camera here for a bit. So here is Galaxy Shuttle transformed in space shuttle mode, and it's in space shuttle mode with the weapons pack attached to the back of it. It becomes quite a lengthy vehicle mode for him. So for a quick size comparison, here is Galaxy Shuttle next to Siege Astrotrain in space shuttle mode, and as you can see, they are impressive. So setting these parts off to the side, just for now. So here is a Galaxy Shuttle next to Astrotrain in space shuttle mode, and I gotta say, I really enjoy, again, I apologize if I keep repeating myself, but I just enjoy how Galaxy Shuttle has a much more realistic paint job compared to Astrotrain here. So they are pretty impressive looking space shuttles when standing next to each other. Now, I do want to bring out one more size comparison, putting Astrotrain over here. Here, here's a here. So this is one of the part of the review I've personally been most excited to share with you guys. But even though the only Transformers cartoon series Galaxy Shuttle has appeared in has been Transformers Victory, he did serve as inspiration for a Transformers character that appeared in a Transformers series after Generation 1. And so, for another surprise special size comparison, here is Galaxy Shuttle next to another space shuttle transformer. Here is the Transformers Armada version of Jetfire. And so, the reason why I brought this figure out that was released back in 2002 to share with you guys is because I found out that the Armada version of Jetfire is actually based on the Generation 1 Galaxy Shuttle figure. And I believe I reviewed Jetfire when I got him off of Amazon back in 2017. I found a used copy of him going for a decent price. And the Armada version of Jetfire here, the transformation is almost identical to Generation 1 Galaxy Shuttle. And so basically, by all accounts, the Armada version of Jetfire is Galaxy Shuttle, just with Jetfire's name attached. And I thought I read on the Transformers Wikipedia that Takara Tomy originally wanted Jetfire to be Galaxy Shuttle when they released it, but Hasbro wanted it to be the name of a have the name of a Transformers character fans and collectors would be more familiar with, since Galaxy Shuttle wasn't really known to too many Transformers fans outside of Generation 1 fans from Japan. So the name was Jetfire was slapped onto this figure. I can't remember what name Takara Tomy gave Jetfire when he was released in the Micron Legends line in Japan, but yeah, this figure here is a more G1 accurate figure of Galaxy Shuttle. So if you wanted to, you could have a Armada 2003 Jetfire figure as Galaxy Shuttle if you desire. And on that note, if Hasbro and Takara Tomy do decide to release a new action figure based on Armada Jetfire, all they'd have to do is swap out the head sculpt and design a head sculpt based on Generation 1 Galaxy Shuttle, and you'd have an even more G1 accurate Galaxy Shuttle figure than the one we have here with the Legacy version. So I'm personally keeping my fingers crossed that we get a brand new Armada Jetfire figure to combine with the Legacy Evolution Optimus Prime Commander class figure that was released in 2023. Because again, all you'd have to do is swap out the heads, and then get Armada Jetfire with just a change in head sculpt can become Galaxy Shuttle. So I just wanted to share that all with you guys, that this version of Jetfire is based on this character here. So that's why I decided to bring it out. If you watch anyone's review on Transformers Armada Jetfire, Generation 1 Galaxy Shuttle had almost the same transformation, and Armada Jetfire, his laser blaster is even formed by the tail fin of his space shuttle mode, just like Galaxy Shuttle is. So yeah, that really thrilled my mind that the Armada version of Jetfire was based off of a Generation 1 character, and it wasn't an original design for Jetfire. It was just a first time design. Fine, so now that I babbled on about this long enough, let's get it Galaxy Shuttle transformed into his brand new mode, courtesy of Astrotrain. And thanks to being a repaint of Astrotrain, he's now a triple changer. So let's take a next look at Galaxy Shuttle's second brand new vehicle mode of a steam locomotive train engine. Alright, and so here is Galaxy Shuttle in his new vehicle mode of a locomotive train engine. First time transforming him, there was unfortunately some paint scraping up here along the top up section of the roof by the windows of the cab section of the train on that hinge joint is what the words I was looking for. So that is a tad unfortunate that the black paint was so thick that it aped off on first time transforming. But considering the fact that it was done in white plastic for the space shuttle mode, and again, the locomotive train engine is a brand new vehicle mode for Galaxy Shuttle, I can overlook that. That slight detailing. He does roll fairly well. All of his wheels are rolling pretty well on the ground, but the ones in the front, partially because he's fresh out of the box, they aren't really rolling too much unless I apply pressure to it. One thing I do like about the wheels of the locomotive is that they actually painted them silver, so you can see all the the detailing on the wheels themselves. They unfortunately didn't do it on the front wheels, which I wish they would have done, just to have all the wheels looking silver. Over on Astrotrain's box art, they were originally going to paint the wheels on Astrotrain, but then they decided at the last minute to have the paint detailing go into somewhere else. And the paint detailing on that Astrotrain has on his locomotive alt mode that Galaxy Shuttle does not is that all of the piping on the sculpted ridges on the side of the locomotive, they're painted on Astrotrain, and the wheel and the windows of the engineer's cab are painted on Astrotrain, but it's unpainted black here on Galaxy Shuttle. But again, it's a pretty impressive looking locomotive train. Moving the fuel tender for a moment. So if you wanted to, you could swap out the head sculpts between Astrotrain and Galaxy Shuttle, and then have Astrotrain done in a realistic paint job with his vehicle modes. But I'm just so excited to have this figure, I can't even talk straight and I can't get my thoughts working properly. But yeah, here is Galaxy Shuttle's locomotive vehicle mode up close. Same issues with this figure has the same issues that Astrotrain has, where the front of the locomotive doesn't really want to clamp together either properly, so it looks like someone sliced it in half. And since his weapons are now red, the steam control dome on top of the boiler of the locomotive, it's now red, so it's not the same color matchup. But then technically, since Astrotrain is a purple locomotive and his steam control dome is black, neither of them technically have locomotives that match up color wise, but they are still impressive looking. And this was one thing as a train fanatic that always irked me about Generation 1 Astrotrain was the type of steam locomotive he transformed into was one that had a fuel tender behind it, and on the original Generation 1 action figure there was no fuel tender whatsoever, so the fact that Hasbro and Takatomi took the time to design a fuel tender for the train mode on the Siege version of Astrotrain, that just made my day that he's now a true robot in disguise when he transforms into a steam locomotive. And if you just want, and since they come with the same accessory pieces, if you wanted to, you could swap the steam control old domes on top of their boilers. So now Galaxy Shuttle is an almost entirely black locomotive. So it's a fun thing you can do if you want to switch parts with them. You can even swap out the tenders if you want, but and now there's Astrotrain with a silver and blue tender, and Galaxy Shuttle with a purple and gray tender. But yeah, a lot of mixing and matching you can do with like most Transformers figures that are repaints of each other that have detachable parts. So for being a brand new for being a new second vehicle mode to a Transformers character that originally was not a triple changer in the Generation 1 series, I am really impressed with how this train locomotive worked out for Galaxy Shuttle and how the final design of it turned out. So that's pretty much all there is to say because he never had this vehicle mode before. So without further delay, let's get Galaxy Shuttle transformed into his robot mode and wrap up the review. Alright, so here is Galaxy Shuttle transformed into his robot mode, and he is pretty impressive looking. There's a close-up of his face sculpt right there. Again, in my opinion, it looks a lot like Jazz, but yeah, this is a pretty accurate deco to his original G1 action figure. So it is kind of a pity that he is a straight-up repaint of Astrotrain instead of being his own mold, because in the original Generation 1 line, Galaxy Shuttle's action figure was really tall, and I think his original G1 figure, I think it's stands a whole head higher than his Legacy figure. So this figure does have more improved articulation, but it's kind of a downgrade in terms of overall size compared to his G1 figure. But anyways, for a size comparison, here he is next to the figure that he's repainted and retooled from, which is Siege Astrotrain. So there's Galaxy Shuttle and Astrotrain standing side by side from each other. If you want to differentiate them, you can take the the extended feet off of Astrotrain, or take them off of Galaxy Shuttle. But since Galaxy Shuttle was a larger figure than Astrotrain, I might take the feet extensions off of Astrotrain just to differentiate them from each other. So let me just do that right now really fast if I can get it off camera without any problems. So taking the feet extensions off of Astrotrain just to further differentiate him and Galaxy Shuttle from each other. So yeah, so for those of you who have the Siege Astrotrain figure and wondering how much of a size difference it is, it's not that much of a size difference actually. Actually, the figure is only half a head shorter without the elevated feet on, so unfortunately the feet don't make the figure that much taller for those of you who haven't really been exposed to this mold before. And hopefully I can get my microphone moved out of the way for it. And for one last special size comparison, here is Galaxy Shuttle once again next to the figure inspired by him, Transformers Armada Jetfire, who is so massive I cannot fit him on camera. So adjusting my camera a bit to try and get him in full frame. So yeah, there is Galaxy Shuttle next to Armada Jetfire, and yeah, again, and this figure is massive, and as I said, the Armada version of Jetfire here is based on Generation 1 Galaxy Shuttle, so I'm really, really hoping that we'll get a new action figure of Armada Jetfire in the Legacy line, because if we do, then that figure could easily be repainted and retooled into yet another action figure of Galaxy Shuttle. Personally, I'd actually want a new version of Galaxy Shuttle instead of this one getting released for a second time, because as I said, if we get a new Armada Jetfire figure, that would be an even more G1 accurate version of Galaxy Shuttle. So here's keeping my fingers crossed that we get a brand new Armada Jetfire figure. But yeah, there's Galaxy Shuttle next to the figure he's repainted and retooled from, which is Siege Astrotrain, and the other Transformers action figure that takes inspiration from him, Armada Jetfire. And yeah, there's Galaxy Shuttle. I apologize for not going into the robot mode articulation, but it's a pretty standard articulation. The head's on a ball joint, so it rotates left and right 360 degrees. Out of the box, it's stiff. But it's the same articulation on Astrotrain. And you got arms can go out this far at the shoulder. They have the potential to spin 360 degrees forwards and backwards at the shoulder, but the wings get in the way. Bicep swivel, double hinged elbows. There is no waist articulation due to the transformation. Universal jointed hip joints, the legs can go forward or this far. They have the potential to go back 180 degrees, but it's hindered by the back kibble section, swivel joints in the thighs, but they're stiff out of the box, hinge jointed knees, and feet articulation, so you can get it in the right angle. You can move the feet slightly up and down, but it works. The feet articulation works better, I believe, without the foot extensions on, and also they clip in place so that they don't feel too wobbly. But yeah, pretty standard articulation for a Warfare Cybertron Trilogy leader class mold. And that said, there's quite a handful of Transformers figures that have been released in the Legacy line that are repaints and retools of figures that were released in the Warfare Cybertron Trilogy lines of Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom. So here's a quick 360 of Galaxy Shuttle in his robot mode for you guys. The wheels on the train mode, since they are painted silver, they do stick out on the back wings of the shuttle mode, but I'm willing to overlook it due to my love of both the space shuttle and with steam locomotives. But yeah, this has been my review of Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Walmart exclusive leader class Autobot Victory Series Galaxy Shuttle. And yes, for being a repaint with a new head sculpt of Siege Astrotrain, I personally think he's a pretty outstanding Transformers figure. So for the final proverbial question of the review, do I recommend getting Legacy Galaxy Shuttle and adding him to your Transformers collection? Absolutely, I do. Even if you have Astrotrain already, I still recommend getting Galaxy Shuttle because you can't go wrong having this guy in your Transformers collection, especially if you have the HasLab Victory Saber figure, because again, Galaxy Shuttle acted as Star Saber's second in command throughout Transformers Victory, and that's why I say that his head sculpt looks a lot like Jazz, because just like Jazz was second in command to Optimus Prime, Galaxy Shuttle is second in command to Star Saber. So, yeah, I'll let you draw your own conclusions about those parallels between the first season of Transformers Generation 1 and Transformers Victory, where the head robot was the paint job was red, white, and blue, and the robot who was second in command, the paint job was black and white. Right, but yeah, I do highly recommend you get this figure if you can. As I said at the start of the review, Galaxy Shuttle is super hard to find due to how limited he was here in the United States. And I forgot to mention this at the start of the review, but and the exact opposite happened, and Galaxy Shuttle actually shelf warmed in Canada. Apparently, the Walmart stores in Canada and you could joke got the Galaxy Shuttle copies that were supposed to come to the States, but don't quote me on that. That's just me spitballing. But yeah, it's amazing how in Canada, Galaxy Shuttle actually shelf warmed to the point that he almost went on clearance, and here in the United States, he's hardly appeared anywhere. So it is a tad disappointing that there is at least one other Transformers action figure out there that's as rare and hard to find as Legacy Cosmos is, but at least I'm glad that I was able to get a copy, and I hope you guys will be able to find a copy as well. Also, for the final overview question, if I haven't said already, do I recommend getting Galaxy Shuttle and adding it to your collection? Absolutely, you can't go wrong having it in here. So thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the TFN Geek, and this has been my review of Transformers Legacy Autobot Victory Series Galaxy Shuttle. I hope you enjoyed this review. And remember to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, you guys, thank you to all my subscribers for your continued support. Remember to stay safe, stay healthy, transform, and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.